put out ads now and get no responses. And we're using the mirror test now. Can you fog it? All right, you're good. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's kind of what it's come down to. It's like and it's brutal. Yeah, I'm kidding, but no, your standards just kind of keep coming down and down and down, and you have to pay more.
Right.
You can't pay people $10 an hour. They'd be like, I got plenty of other offers. So, forget that mandatory $15 an hour. I mean, that's just happening. It's just happening. Especially with all the places opening up down South County, Newport, Westerly, and that's drawing that pool to South. So I don't know. There was an article in the paper recently. They talked about how places are just going to have to do less business because they can't handle the volume. They don't have the workers.
There's places that are cutting down their hours, like Dunkin' Donutses, and where they just can't staff it, so they got to shut down.
Well, it's a Square Peg posted about that this past week, that they're not going to be open on Sundays anymore because they can't get the staff and they can't overwork their staff, and it has impacts locally because that's part of my customer base. Yeah. They come for lunch there, then they come shopping, or it's that whole added unemployment benefit should have just brought everybody back up to where they were, not where they get extra. I'm on Workshare on Fridays. I have Fridays off and I'm able to collect for it. But because of the extra $300 a week, I'm actually making about another extra $150 for having summers off till September. It doesn't make, I'm not going to say no, but it doesn't make any sense to me to go above what you were normally getting. That's the problem.
I agree. And I think that the 600 last year was crazy money. That was just crazy money. I mean, the 300 seems to be more in line. Maybe it's still a little bit excessive. I think making people whole is
exactly. That's what it should have been. It should have been to make you whole, so you didn't take a hit. But you shouldn't. Nobody should be getting a bonus because of COVID, but you should be protected from losing, right?
Yeah, that's about exactly right. I agree.
Well, let's pass a resolution and get some money, hopefully, into affordable housing, and it's all tied in. It's all tied in. So everybody's here, and we're able to start.
Yes.
Oh, Joe's not here, but you have a quorum.
Okay, I believe he's not coming.
Yeah, he's not.
Okay, so it is 6 o'clock on what day of the week is it? It is Thursday, April 1st, 2021. I'm not looking at an agenda, but if everybody would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, we'll do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. So we were all provided some backup documentation from Planner Ruley in regard to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund structure that exists. And there's an opportunity for us to get some funding into that through the Community Project Funding Program. I will let Bob take it away and get this done.
Thank you, Madam President, and my apologies for interfering with your getting into the long weekend. But as I said in my memo, there's an opportunity to solicit funding through the House Appropriations Committee. Carrie, you might have to hit your, Carrie, we're getting feedback from you. There we go. Through the House Appropriations. This was formerly the Earmark Program. They renamed it Community Project Funding. It's competitive, as I said in my memo, but I'm increasingly frustrated with some of the state policies with respect to affordable housing. Again, as I said in my memo, Congressman Cicilline has indicated that as part of the Recovery Act funds, there's money that we could also contribute to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The reason for this meeting was the application has to be in by next week, and it needs a town council resolution and support. I added something in the newspaper for my around town because it needed to have something in the press as well. I do think that this is a topic that we should continue to talk about. I think the ordinance that we have is good, but it needs to be tweaked a little bit. As Brant pointed out, we've got one section where 2 sections are repeated. And I think the membership piece should be reworked a little bit. I don't know if you want to include this as a further discussion as an agenda item at the next council meeting, or you'd like to have a workshop, or you wouldn't like to discuss it at all. But for tonight, I would like to get support for a resolution to support the application, but I also would like to, just again, share my concern that we start to talk about this issue a little bit more and try to use this fund to benefit residents within Warren and employees that live in Warren. And I will answer any questions you might have.
Will this, with this fund, in other words, will we be able to set up our own, like, restrictions or whatever it is that qualifies towards the state's minimum number?
Yeah, we have broad latitude in terms of how we operate the fund. I would not treat it as a grant fund. I would treat it as a low interest loan fund so we can replenish it. But we can set whatever parameters we want. And if we did make a loan, the goal would be that these would be the deed restricted units that would contribute towards the 10%.
Okay.
But again, my frustration is that, the governor just announced his budget this week and some last week, but some details this week are, some initiatives that he has for affordable housing. And my complaint is we do this every year and nobody ever makes any progress on this. And it does benefit towns like Warren. We're not going to build 500 units of affordable housing on one project. And then when we do have applications that come in under the comprehensive permit statute, it's a developer trying to take advantage of the waivers that they can get under that act. The Betancourt Farm, Settlers Green is a perfect example of that. And then that's got to get fixed because it's not working the way it was intended to. So I think if we have some money in our fund, I've tried to get money in the past, but we never had any money in there that I could put as a match. So this would give us a chance to seed that, leverage it for additional money. But, I think we could then distinguish ourselves and have a really comprehensive loan program that, helps those people that have a vacant second floor downtown to bring a unit up to code and create a residential unit that's deed restricted. If there was acquisitions, we could look at that. But I think most of this would be rehabilitation of existing structures.
Okay. I have one more question. Back, when I was on the planning board, we're probably talking 15, 20 years ago, I thought there was something where if we established a plan and a goal, it would keep us from being subject to the comprehensive permitting. Is that still part of the legislation?
No. So, what came up in the Settlers Green matter was that Warren has never submitted an affordable housing plan to the state. There was one that I think Caroline had developed, had gone before the council, but was never submitted to the state. So that puts us in a little bit of an adverse position. We need to clean that up, but we've never had an adopted affordable housing plan.
Okay, but if we do adopt one, does that kind of protect us from the?
It doesn't protect us from that. But again, the other issue that I have is, as I said in my memo, is when you look at the affordable income limits that Rhode Island Housing establishes, almost every employee in town hall is well below, what those are. So I've reached out to our state delegation beginning last year and this year. I asked to have a conversation with the speaker, with the Senate president, because I think there's things that we're doing in Warren that can address this issue that other communities aren't doing. and I've gotten no progress. So I'm frustrated.
I'll unmute here if, I'm not sure what my feedback situation is. Am I doing that again?
No, it sounds good.
Okay. So provided that we're all in agreement to support doing this resolution, you will draw up the resolution, and we don't have language for one existing.
The solicitor is drafting the resolution.
Okay, so we could make a motion to adopt and support the resolution that the solicitor is providing for you. How?
Yes, and then, I mean, separate from that is there any interest of continuing this conversation either at the next council meeting or special work?
Would this follow the typical, like, ordinance or zoning change? Would it have to be referred to the planning board for drafting, or?
It would, and that's what I would, recommend, that it come to the council to send it to the planning board to revise the ordinance.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we support the resolution to be drafted by the solicitor supporting the affordable housing funding
application.
And that we put it on the next agenda for discussion and possible referral to the planning board to get that buttoned up so we can actually eventually get it supported, sent up to the state and approved.
Thank you.
I think we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All righty. So the motion passes. So you have your resolution. As soon as that is drafted, assuming I need to sign it, I will make myself available, and then we can have further discussion at the next council meeting.
Great. I appreciate it very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the work, Bob. Really, this is great. I think it's really important to make every effort we can to work towards more adequate workforce housing.
Right.
Workforce housing is
Yep.
what we're going to call it.
And also, once we get all our ducks in a row, I think it'll give us a better tool to stave off some of these things like Settlers Green that is really jamming it through us on this expedited permitting process. If we can shore up our defenses, we can still go for some minimum housing, but we won't be as susceptible to these slam, these great big developers who tuck this one or two things in there just to get all the relief and slam it down our throats. So I think it's good.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Thank you,
Well,
everybody.
thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Thank you all for being here this evening.
Make a
Thank you,
motion,
Sandy and Jessica.
motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.